Hello, and thank you so much, Trisha. Thank you so much, Karin. Thank you so much, Piper. How great is Piper, everyone?
Yeah.
Thank you to all of you very, very much. I am so blessed to be here today. I really, really am honored to be in your presence. And thank you to Daria, who 2 weeks ago I met and she spoke life to me. So I remembered those of you that I've seen from 2 weeks ago, like Joe. And I just feel so blessed to be here with you today. I wanted to just start, and if anybody who's live right now, I'm not sure how this works. If there are people live, hello, and thank you for being with us. We appreciate you, we welcome you, we love you, and be sure to communicate with us. We may not be able to, or I might not be able to answer you immediately, but I will check this and answer any questions or comments that you have. It's just such a joy to be here together. So, activating love. Activating love. We've spoken on some really great things that I just want to pick up on really quickly. Even this, what Trisha shared. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. Talk about a great segue into activating love. It's a part of us, right? So how many of us here, this is going to be an interactive experience, so be prepared to just do things, friends. How many of us here have ever been in love? You can raise your hand or, right? Okay, cool. How many of us here have ever, felt loved by someone else? Like felt love shining down on you? Okay, cool. How many of us here have ever felt we deeply, truly, unequivocally loved ourselves? Yes, I see a few, but notice how that one's kind of like, love is an interesting thing because we know of it, we experience it, and it is there for us, but yet there is an activation required. There is an activation required for us to truly feel it, express it, enjoy it, allow it, right? So we're going to explore some of these concepts today. We'll start with the love for self. And forgive me, friends, speaking of love, I love technology. And what I'm doing here is I'm not checking my time. I'm just pressing little timers so that I stay on course because I do love these topics so much. I can blab away. So this is for you. That's all this is about. So beginning with love for self. I once knew a young girl who had been left by her mother. At 9 years old, her mother left her and her brothers and moved to another country. She did this after she had divorced her father, the little girl's father. She had divorced her husband, and she decided after a year of the divorce being final that she was kind of done with everyone, and abruptly left the kids, left the husband, and was gone. This little girl's life was changed forever because now this little girl was the woman of the house. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of, doing all the things. So this little girl didn't really think about loving herself. How could she? If her own parents didn't love her, how could she? That little girl was me. I also know a young woman who was doing her best to make it and achieve what she could achieve. and enjoying the thrills of dating and sex and fun and being appreciated for the physical, but didn't really know what love was, partnership, value, an awareness of a true connection that says, wow, I see who you are, you're amazing. That young woman was also me. And then I know a woman who owns her ish. You see me, Joe, you know what I'm talking about. A woman that has a life partner of over 20 years. A woman who is unafraid to say what she wants, whether to someone else in the crowd, whether to her friends, or whether to herself. Because can I tell you, some of us have just a committee inside that's harsh. That woman is also me. Love for self takes turns and twists. Love for self can be activated and enjoyed. Love for self is necessary at each stage of our lives. It never gets old. It never is dumb. It's never unnecessary. Love for self is cool. But that's not the only love that we can talk about here today. There's love for others. When Piper plays for us, he is loving us with his music and with his vulnerability and with his talent. I felt it 2 weeks ago when I first heard you. Daria, 2 weeks ago, I ran into her in the bookstore because she was by the accessories, and I thought, oh, cool, there's accessories, and we struck up a conversation, and she spoke a word to me that I deeply needed, and I didn't even know that I needed to hear it. There's love for others. Sometimes love for others just in saying and sharing. There's love for others in Trisha and Anne and Karen, and how you've served this center, how you've served me in just these couple of weeks that I've gotten to be here and speak here and share with you, and what it takes for all of this to happen with volunteers. David, right? David I met 2 weeks ago, and then he gave me love, and my husband Tony's in the back. When we saw him after the service at Pioneer Town, and he just welcomed us like we'd known him for, he said, hey, I saw you, and we're like, you did, wait. But it was wonderful. When we love other people, we experience heaven on earth. When we love other people, we experience freedom and joy and creativity. We experience energy. We remember who we are. We remember the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. Loving others is key, and it's easy. It's a smile. Like Joe is always smiling. It's amazing to me. Joe is always smiling. And it's like, you see it and you just feel good. And he didn't even have to say anything. Loving others, you don't have to have money. You don't have to have anything. You just have to have a love that radiates outside of you and can touch another person. But its activation is required, right? Because it's there, but if we don't activate us, it is dormant. There have been times, I've been both sides of this. So there have been times where maybe I'm out in public, and then I'll see someone, and I see something about them that I admire, or I like, or I think is cool, or whatever, and I'll want to say it, but I don't. And then there's other times where, thank goodness, I go through with it. And I'll tell you, I'm pretty sure. Friends, which do you think is the better experience? Right? So, love for others. It's so easy and fun to do. I'll tell you, anytime, just like when David, he bowled us over with, hey, and it was just so cool. It was just like, yes. And now I remember him. I know, and it was that gift that gave that day, and it kept on giving. So then we go into love all around us. Now, years ago, I published a book, and it's called Love for You Now. Focus on love and change your life. And the book, it has beautiful pictorials inside and affirmative statements, and you can use it in 4 ways. So you can go front to back, or you can open and land on the thing. And it will remind you, and it will engage you in the truth that love is all around us, right? Before the book was published, as I was collecting this very real data that exists around us, it became like this magical, cool experience. Because how many of us have heard what we focus on grows? Has anyone ever heard that? Right? Let's see, does anybody know who Henry Ford is? Right? Now, Henry Ford has said something. He said, whether you think you can, or you think you can't, what are you? You're right. Right? So, what happens then if we focus on love, or even more excitingly, if we look for love, if we make it a game? How would we move about our day if we make a point to just recognize love around us? I can tell you with a certainty that it is a magnificent experience. It will delight you, it will fill you with wonder and joy, and again, it is something that, it's a way to activate love. You don't even have to tell anybody, but it's more fun if you do. So, we can look around and we can see signs of love all around us. Perhaps you may see it in, oh gosh, here in Joshua Tree, Yucca Valley, we're very, very blessed because we don't have all the pollutants of the city. At night, we can look up and see the cosmos. We can see the stars, the proof that it is limitless creation, right? We can see, I tell you, it's like the National Geographic where I'm at in Joshua Tree. I have seen crows actively feeding. My husband and I are like at the window like, oh my gosh, what's happening, you know? We've seen road runners. We've seen all these beautiful signs of life. These creations like us. Unique, and beautiful, and amazing, and wondrous, and talented, and gifted with special things. Love, 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 love. It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his son. Okay. But that makes it seem like it was only for one person, right? What we learn in Science of Mind is that we are all creations. We are all houses of the divine, every single one of us. Wow, that's a love story. That's a love story. If you think about the fact of all the things that biologically have to happen so that you can be here, that's a love story. You are a love story. Your life, my life, is a love story. It's a signature of something amazing that not only happened when your parents got together, but happened in the biology of the timing for it to be specifically you, and then happened for you to collect and enjoy and become all the gifted things, the beautiful recipe that makes you you, and then touch the other people, and it's just this beautiful reverberation of love. So, if there's a love for self and a love for others, and love is all around us, and we all know about it, we've all heard of it before. why not just, like, why does this matter? This matters because when we activate love, this is the difference between having a magical, amazing, beautiful, miraculous life versus just feeling that separation of nothingness. You are disconnected then. So, why do we want to do this? Well, I think it's Einstein that said, he says something like, you can live as though everything is a miracle, or you can live as though it isn't. And I'll tell you something. Has anybody ever watched the movie Elf with Will Ferrell? I love that so deeply. He's just like, oh my God, I love that. Like, that energy just makes us happy and joyous, and that's what love feels like when we're in that zing. Whether it's like, oh my gosh, I love you so much, and you're deeply in that romantic, amazing love. Or whether it's that, oh, you're stopped in your tracks by that sunset, or the rainbow, or the flower, or you're loving that comedy special so much that you're crying, and you're just like, oh my gosh, and you're laughing and you're enjoying yourself. Or you just woke up today, and for some reason, all the stars aligned, and you feel like you look better than you've ever looked before. Hey, look, it's a gift, friends, okay? It's a gift when that happens, and you're just like, oh my gosh, whoever changed the mirrors, don't change them back. Activating love is a fun and joyous and wonderful thing that we can do for ourselves, for others, for the world. Sometimes it may seem as though we are small. Sometimes it seems when we listen to problems that are happening around the world that we can't make a difference. I'm telling you that we can. You are a house of the divine. You are limitless. You are powerful. You are creative. You are beautiful. You are loving. You are magnificent. The entire cosmos swirled around. All the laws came into alignment. Perfect timing and people coalesced so that you can be here today for a reason. You have purpose. When you add love to that purpose, you become unstoppable. This is part of the joy that I like to share. As a coach, as an author, with the things I offer on my site, on my shop, that is the point. One of many. And that's how I help people. It's my joy, it's my calling. Because when we are feeling that love, that joy, our power, we are literally changing our lives and the lives around us. And that is magnificent. Whether it's a really wonderful welcome, your sharing of your talents, you talking to a stranger and saying, just, you were being you and you affected me. Or being open and welcoming, not just for people like me who have something to share and want to be of service, but for this wonderful center that is then that beacon, right, of love and encouragement and empowerment. It's fantastic. So when we think about activating love, please know that you can do it at any time, that it will fill you with great joy, that it will remind you of your power, that it can reawaken and revitalize, that it can bring more of what you are already bringing to the table, that it can fortify and strengthen. I hope that you feel love and you realize who you are, but if not, or if you're online and you're just wondering about this, let's just take the last few seconds I have to do a little practice together. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. And what we're going to do is we're just going to think about the greatest love we've ever experienced, remembered, or expressed. Envision this moment now. How did it feel? What were you doing? Capture it again. Imagine that it is growing inside of you. And now imagine that you are spreading it out. Knowing that energy is limitless and there are no boundaries. Where is it going? Who do you know that it's touching right now? What do you know that could use the love you have to give? My friends, you have this with you all the time. And just like this moment in silence, you can activate it anywhere. And so in remembering this, in this moment together, let us give thanks. And then come back into the room when you're ready. My name is Teemaree. You can contact me anytime at teemaree.com. And please, let's all do everything that we can to support the center, using that glass jar in the back for that wonderful projector, and donating and giving our love offerings as we see fit. Thank you so much for having me. So much. I'll have a handout for each of you, and I'll be here to answer questions if you have any. Thank you very much for having me.